if I had to do the math, it's like, I think in general, South Africans probably spend, if you times 45 times 12, I don't know what that is, and then you're leaving out period underwear, you're leaving out period medication, that's leaving out snacks. Oh my God, oh my gosh.
Menstrual cycle.
Exactly.
That's right.
On average, how much do you spend on your periods?
Only my mother knows.
Close to 400 on toiletries, strictly.
Depends how rich I am. On my rich months, I would probably spend like 300 because I'd buy stuff that I don't need, and I'm just like, oh, I like the way this smells, I like this way it looks, and I deserve it. You understand? I need to go out or something. But on my relaxed months, I think maybe 100 rand. Yeah.
So now that I've moved to be a little bit more sustainable with my period, it's not as costly as before, where I'd be maybe spending 45 rand times 2, which would maybe be 90 rand, a month to get my pads. I usually find that I'll probably buy like 1 pack of pads every 3 months, just in case that I might not remember to wash my period underwear, or I might forget my menstrual cup at home. At least I then have it on me, but it's not every single month. But I can't give you like a definitive number, because if I had to do the math, it's like, I think in general, South Africans probably spend, if you times 45 times 12, I don't know what that is, and then you're leaving out period underwear, you're leaving out period medication, that's leaving out snacks. Oh my God, oh my gosh, it's a lot of money. I mean, my period painkillers are what, 50, 60 rand, and I get that every month. Oh no, let's not do this.
How do you think you'd feel if you weren't able to afford periods?
I would feel sad, and I wouldn't like want to go out, and I just want to stay in my room because it's sad. Like, I feel like I would be shy or embarrassed to go ask teachers for sanitary products.
What do you think we can do to help people that can't afford menstrual products?
I feel like in public toilets or restrooms, we can put pads on the toilet.
We could set out a petition, because it's something I feel strongly about. That it's not fair that condoms are free at public clinics, yet sex is a choice. Periods are not. They also should be free at public clinics, not just public clinics, in public bathrooms as well.
Yeah.
You should have a choice to pick whether pads, tampons, and whatnot. So I feel like we should find a way to convince the government, and a petition is one way. Get enough signatures to convince them to pass the law that pads are free.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they should give away expensive brands. No, just like a condom, they give away Choice and Max, not Durex. So also with pads, they can find a cheaper one that will work for those that cannot afford it to give away.
I think for me, it's just, I always tell people this, that buy yourself and buy someone else as well. So it's a thing of, okay, I'm gonna buy myself a pad and I'm buying someone else a pad, and then I'll give that pad to someone, a homeless lady or someone, a shelter or things like that. And also getting involved in such campaigns. There's a lot of campaigns that you can get involved in, where people, NPOs, where people are doing drives with sanitary pad drives. So I suggest you join that. Even guys,
Literally.
even you guys, yeah.
I definitely think that, honestly, in like the past couple of years, there's been much more awareness raised on the issue of period poverty. Like, really, in South Africa, that's been a big thing. So I think the awareness has increased. I'm not going to say it's all the way there, but it would be great, honestly, if it's the same old stuff that we've been saying. If government gets more available in making, sanitary tools, sanitary products more available for underprivileged women, because I'm not gonna lie, it is expensive, you know, and not everybody can afford the best out there, and it's not always accessible. Imagine you live in like a village and then shop is far, but you still got your periods, you know. I think also just generally as a society, the responsibility doesn't just also lie with our government, but as a society, parents, teachers, friends, sisters, to just make it something that's discussed more openly. It's not disgusting, it's a normal life experience, you know, it's normal. So if we talk about it more openly and you don't have to whisper, you know, I feel like it's just going to be something that's more openly accepted in society, because it is, I mean, it has to be accepted. If you don't accept it, then that means you must kill off all women in the world, you know. So that so that more provision can be made for that experience. You know, I think even workplaces, imagine Google. Do you know that the Google offices, the head offices in the US, they have all types of sanitary products for women in their bathrooms, you know? So something like that, you know, just to make it better for young, old women, all types of women out there.
So like, for example, I know like in terms of school, I always make sure that I have sanitary products in my class so the girls know that they can come and ask me if they have an emergency at school or anything. I know that I also have a pretty open like bathroom policy in my classroom, so I don't want it to be uncomfortable for them to ask to go to the bathroom. But also I've realized that a lot of period issues come because of the miseducation of men, and like it doesn't help always preaching to women this, that, but there's nothing we can do about it because of the patriarchal society we live in. So I'd say that like starting period education, unisex period education at an earlier stage, and not having this thing of, okay, we're gonna have health talks, girls go over there, boys go over there. That is so counterintuitive, because when you guys do section the girls off, then you guys still teach them to be ashamed of their period. And like, how are you going to make me ashamed of something I cannot get rid of for the next 50, 60, 70 years? It doesn't make sense, number one. So I'd say starting period education earlier. Number two, the money situation. Like, periods are expensive, pads are expensive, tampons are expensive, just having a period is expensive. And I think that gynecologic health, is that how you say it? Yes, like going to the gynecologist should be free for everyone. But yeah, the government needs to open their purses, open your wallets. Like, that's really it, because we can talk and educate, but if there's no funding behind it, then it's for nothing. I'll start outside and then go within. I think government has to recognize that period poverty is a crisis. And once they've realized that, then they will be able to respond effectively by ensuring that period products are free. I mean, a lot of people often say if condoms are free, which is a choice, then why aren't pads free? And you know, it's often a thing of like, well, the reason why condoms are free is because South Africa had an HIV/AIDS epidemic. And so they had to respond and treat it as a crisis to then allow the state to create free condoms. So what that shows me is that the state has the tools and the resources to do the same in either creating their own period products or collaborating with local organizations that create their period products to ensure accessibility, right? Because the reality is that period poverty has a major impact on human rights issues such as education, such as access to water, sanitation, such as access to dignity and health. And so we cannot afford to continue to let it be an issue that's not addressed. So eventually government has to come to the table. Government has been served so many memorandums since 2015 around how we should end period poverty. And yes, they might have a menstrual health coalition, but people don't know exactly what it does. They don't know what it's for, right? So I think it's a matter of just doing something about it. And I think firstly, it's about not only just the awareness, because the awareness exists, but actively taking the steps to ensure that there is access to these period products. And then moving on towards, okay, ensuring that there's access to clean water, access to dignified bathrooms, access to then quality education, because those are the basics that a menstruator needs, that is a part of their human rights. And then when we move into the individual, I think as individuals, we have to ask ourselves, what is it that we can do in our own capacity to end period poverty? So is it volunteering your time to period organizations? Is it donating, money to period organizations that are always constantly on the ground providing those period products? Is it in your own capacity sharing knowledge and resources that period activists share on their pages and then reposting it? Is it maybe going into spaces where talking about these things are taboo and starting those conversations? At the end of the day, I can't really prescribe what people need to do, but I think in general it's about unlearning your own misconceptions around periods to then help people relearn positively around what periods are, and then just talking openly around it. I think that's really, really important. So yeah, I hope that answers the question, and I just think people shouldn't be terrified over something that is natural, something that should be seen as same to going to the bathroom or sneezing, I think we should just embrace it for what it is. Yeah.
I think an initiative that started for me, the first time I saw this initiative was when I started first year in the races. They would ask girls to donate pads. I think pads should be like a standard thing in public bathrooms. Just as you find a tissue there, you'll find a pad there. Just like you'll find a condom there, you'll find a pad there. Standard for everyone to be able to access. I mentioned ShopRite and their initiatives to make pads cheaper. They fighting the fight on for us on that forefront. I don't know, I guess from our part, it's just about openly speaking about our experiences. So a platform like this is great. And always being the plug for, the next girl and the next girl. Beyond acts of service that I can do, tell you about this or this or that. I don't know what else we can do. Maybe just end the stigma, amongst men about what periods really are. Yeah. But how do you get that across without talking to them directly? They're not interested. They hear blood out of vagina and they get scared. But they see blood on action films and it's amazing. So, yeah.